So the big news coming out of Anfield is that Liverpool sign Araujo from Barcelona on loan for the rest of this season. Apparently, I think the deal has no obligation to sign, but there is a valuation in there for 55 million euros if Liverpool decide that they want to sign Araujo at the end of his loan deal. We're going to be taking a look at his style of play, how he might fit in with Iraola, and also, is this a good signing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I know, of course, everybody's been talking about Liverpool need the cover. Liverpool need a centre back. They also needed someone who can fill in at right back. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and we're going to get straight into it. So obviously, look, I think I'll give you my verdict at the end of this. As per usual, you guys can also let me know in the comment section, of course, how you kind of feel about this deal. I think Liverpool needed to get in someone who could play, of course, at centre back and also cover in at right back if they weren't going to sign a single player for each position. I think with it being a loan deal, you can't really complain too much with it. At the end of the day, you don't have to sign him if he doesn't work out, he gets injured, doesn't play that much, isn't that good, all of these other various different things. So again, there's not the obligation within that. To my knowledge, there isn't a fee that Liverpool are paying for this, but if they are, I'm going to guess that it will be quite minimal anyway. So again, low risk. It's something, an area that they definitely needed to sort out as soon as possible. I think it's one of those kind of areas where you think to yourself, okay, well, we do need in someone in that position. You're getting someone with experience. You're getting someone who's played international football. He's played at high level, of course, with Barcelona. He's won trophies with Barcelona. So again, you're getting in someone with that level of experience who knows what they kind of need to do. He's got the physical attributes that I think possibly would work in the Premier League. I don't think it worked so much at Barcelona because we know they're all about the tiki-taka. Obviously, he serves a purpose within that team. But, when you've got Eric Garcia and you've got Pau Kubasi, two players who are Barcelona coded, I think someone like Araujo, he had his moments, but again, he was never going to be a first kind of choice player, and he was always going to be back up there. And I think coming into this Liverpool team, and it probably tells you where Liverpool are at this current moment in time, that he can come into this Liverpool team and ultimately it kind of looks like he probably would start. Obviously, we know with Jacquet, being injured and, all that kind of stuff. So there is that in itself. But ultimately, I do look at him and think to myself, yeah, I think you're definitely going to be a player who, don't want to be rude, but you're definitely going to be a player who, if you do well, I'm going to say most people would probably be a tad bit surprised. But listen, at the end of the day, we've seen with some loan deals, it does, really, really work out. And then the team obviously, decide, to sign him. So let's wait and see. But let's get straight into his style of play. I think that's going to be the key thing that most people care about and most people kind of want to see. So in terms of the style, Araujo is much more of a defender first than a centre back who is going to dictate Liverpool's build up. His biggest strengths have always been his physical attributes, right? He's quick across the ground, powerful, aggressive when he steps into attackers, and extremely difficult to beat when he gets his body between the forward and the ball. At his best, he's particularly useful defending space. He can hold a higher defensive line because he's got the recovery speed to turn, chase runners, and defend situations where other centre-backs might simply get exposed. He's also comfortable defending in 1v1s. Barcelona have even used him, of course, at right-back in the past, specifically because of his ability to deal with dangerous wide players. And aerially, there's still obviously plenty there. If you look at the numbers, it's got him in the 71st percentile for aerial duel percentage, while he's also in the 85th percentile for progressive carries. So when he wins the ball, he's actually very capable of stepping into the midfield and carrying it through the pressure. The weakness is that he's never been an elite progressive passer or breaking the lines, as you guys can see highlighted, that even earlier in his Barcelona career, Araujo tended to favor safer passes rather than consistently breaking lines or switching play. You can see the current numbers, they kind of tell similar stories. 86th percentile for passes completed, but only 59th for progressive passes. So obviously he's not coming into Liverpool, in my opinion anyway. And again, it's a loan deal, so it's hard to really read too much into this, but I don't look at him as coming in as this is going to be the player that you put alongside Virgil van Dijk, and it just works because whatever. I think it's more about the complementary style of the two players, right? You've got Virgil van Dijk, cool, calm, and composed, Rolls Royce, as they say, at the back. Having someone aggressive like that, someone who he's Virgil van Dijk is going to be very, very used to having because he's had the likes of Canate, he's had the likes of Gomez, he's like the likes of Matip, players who like to be a bit more proactive in their defending. Araujo does bring you that, and I think that's where the complementary style is going to come. Now, I'm not saying he's not an elite centre back. He's not elite anything. At the end of the day, he's just okay. Like he's like, he's all right. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, it's the and then listen, I think this is just where the Premier League is. For me, I look at him and I think to myself, your physical attributes will probably help you a lot more so than they would do in La Liga, where we know it's a lot more technical, especially in a team like Barcelona. It's a lot more technical. It's a lot more football on the ground. It's not so much about that direct style of play. Yes, Hansi Flick has maybe incorporated that a little bit more, but again, it is more so about the kind of more intricacy in terms of the kind of football that's obviously being played. But when you look at this, right, this kind of signing and stuff like that, Liverpool haven't necessarily added someone who has to start 40 games at centre back. As I mentioned before, obviously they've still got Jeremy Jacquet, they've still got obviously Leoni, you got Joe Gomez. Now, I'm not saying that's a fantastic cohort of players, I get it, but ultimately these are the players that Liverpool kind of have at this moment in time. If Van Dijk needs a rest, Araujo can play at centre back. When Jacquet and Leoni, when they're not really ready to kind of play again, as I mentioned, he kind of steps in. I think it just feels that need, and I think it is definitely a need that Liverpool needed. Again, it's like a catch-22, right? I get why people I said it last night. I said, it's kind of like an LOL type of signing, because and I'm not saying it's rolling on the floor laughing, but it's definitely like, okay, a little chuckle, do you know what I mean, to yourself, because we know that Liverpool obviously needed someone in that area, right? But as I keep telling people, ultimately, from what the club are showing us at this current moment in time, and of course, they don't know what's going to happen in the future. I genuinely believe they look at the centre back position, especially with Jacquet and Leoni, and for them, they feel that they've got the two centre backs that are going to carry them into the new future of Liverpool. And I don't even really mean under Iraola, to be honest. It's just the new future of Liverpool. 5 years' time, this is what that kind of looks like, as long as the players, progress in the way that they hope they kind of will. So when I'm looking at these kind of players, and I'm looking especially at the signing of Araujo, I am a little bit like, it makes sense why they would get in something like this. Like, obviously, if there's an opportunity to be had, then of course they're going to go out there. They're going to go and try and sign whoever it is that they feel. And obviously they did try to get Mark Gay in, but losing Kanate, I think, kind of made them think, okay, we may need to rethink this whole centre back thing anyway. Because obviously, as we say, we don't know what Virgil van Dijk is going to be like. For all I know, this coming season he's going to be crap. Now you're really trying to fast track both Jacquet and Leoni, in that kind of situation. At the moment, you're hoping that he still remains to a good enough level to be able to lead Liverpool at the back, which then gives Jacquet and Leoni a bit more time to be able to progress and stuff like that. In the interim, obviously Liverpool need the position filled in. They also need someone who can cover and play in at right back, which again shows me anyway that they're not really comfortable with the right backs that they've currently got. Hence why they needed someone to be able to come in and be able to play in both of those positions, especially if Liverpool, I don't know, up against a PSG, maybe might go three at the back. I don't know. I really, really don't know. So these are the kind of little things that I look at, especially when I'm looking at someone like Araujo, the type of signing that Liverpool obviously have made. So yeah, it's one of those. I mean, I'm not even going to give it like a score or anything. I just think it's more about the necessity of the signing. If I'm being 100%, honest with you, and yeah, I think he's got an injury history that's pretty long as well. As you guys already know, he's picked up a lot of injuries, really in the last like 3-4 years, to be honest with you. So again, it's not like as long as Liverpool don't have to rely upon him for too much of the season, then I don't feel like it's going to be that bad. But again, if you do, that's where the in my opinion, that's where the kind of problems, kind of come into it. But again, we just have to kind of, wait and see, in regards to that. I'm looking here at some of the stats and stuff. 15th percentile for defensive dual win percentage and 3rd percentile for possession won. Again, bit of a concern, you know, if we're talking about his recent performance level. You know, doesn't mean that he can't defend or anything like that, but it does tell you, okay, this isn't a peak Araujo. This isn't a peak player. This isn't a player in his prime or anything. Like, I mean, it could be his prime. This might just be as good as he actually is. But yeah, we're not getting the best version of this player again, which tells me it's the necessity over anything else. Hence the reason why, you know, Liverpool have decided to, you know, kind of go through with this. So listen, we'll wait and see how it kind of works itself out. Obviously, Liverpool got that first game against Newcastle away. Let's see who starts at the back, you know, in that game. And at least Liverpool got players in. I guess that's where we can look at it and think, okay, at least you're doing something, you know, along those kind of lines. But listen, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. How do you guys kind of feel, you know, about this Araujo signing? How do you see it going for next season? Do Liverpool still need to strengthen in the back line anywhere? Are you still not comfortable currently with what Liverpool have got? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, peeps. And I'll catch you guys soon. Bye.